The world was stunned in 2020 when Russian scientists discovered vast oil reserves under the Antarctic ice. Suddenly, Antarctica wasn't just a frozen wasteland for penguins and seals, it became the center of a new global race. Oil, billions of barrels, waited beneath the thick white sheet. The discovery was kept quiet at first, but news soon leaked out. This was no ordinary news. Nations with interests in Antarctica quickly took notice. Oil means money, power, and energy security. Whoever controls it can shape the future. For now, countries can only watch, wait, and plan. The world's last great wilderness is suddenly a battleground. The stakes are sky high. The discovery has shaken old agreements and set off alarms in capitals across the globe. Antarctica is now a prize everyone wants. The race for the icy continent just got real. Antarctica is protected by a special agreement, the Antarctic Treaty. This vast, icy continent is unlike any other place on Earth, and the treaty was designed to keep it that way. A land dedicated to peace and science, untouched by national rivalries. Signed in 1959, the treaty was a landmark in international cooperation. It says no country can own land there, no matter how powerful or ambitious they are. It bans all military activity and, most importantly, strictly forbids mining for minerals like oil or gas. The idea was to prevent a scramble for resources that could destroy the fragile environment. For decades, the treaty has kept the continent peaceful and focused on science. Researchers from around the world come together here, united by curiosity and a shared respect for this unique place. But there is a loophole. The treaty allows scientific research, and that exception has become a gray area. Countries can build bases, drill deep ice cores, and study the land in the name of science. These activities are essential for understanding climate change and the planet's history. This research often looks innocent, but it can have another purpose. Sometimes, it's a way to quietly gather information about what lies beneath the ice. Some nations use science as a cover to map resources or test new technology, pushing the boundaries of what's allowed under the treaty. Now, with the news of possible oil reserves, the treaty looks less solid than ever. The temptation to exploit these resources is growing. Countries are testing its limits. They are building more bases, sending more people, and increasing their presence in subtle but significant ways. The ban on mining is strong, for now, but the ice is cracking, both literally and figuratively. The pressure is building beneath the surface. Everyone knows that treaties can change. The rules that kept Antarctica safe may not last forever, especially as global demand for resources grows. The world is watching to see who will make the first move. The future of Antarctica, and its fragile peace, hangs in the balance. Russia and China are not hiding their ambitions. Their intentions in Antarctica are becoming more visible with each passing year, as both nations make bold moves to expand their influence on the frozen continent. Since 2020, both countries have rapidly built new research stations deep in Antarctica, transforming the landscape with state-of-the-art facilities and infrastructure that stand out starkly against the endless white. Russia reopened its legendary Vostok base to new drilling operations, pushing deeper into the ice than ever before. They've even announced ambitious plans for another station near the South Pole, signaling a long-term commitment to the region. China, meanwhile, launched its fifth Antarctic base in 2023, with more facilities already in the planning stages. Each new base strengthens their presence and scientific reach. These bases are not just for science. They require year-round power, food, and supplies, which means building complex support systems, like greenhouses for fresh produce and massive generators to keep the lights on through the polar night. Russia and China have sent dozens of scientists, engineers, and even soldiers dressed as support staff. Their teams are highly trained, working together to establish a strong foothold in this remote environment. Their teams are mapping the land, drilling deep into the ancient ice, and using advanced technology to uncover secrets hidden beneath the surface. Every expedition brings back new data and insights. Some say they are looking for more than just rocks and weather data. There are whispers that these missions are also about scouting for valuable minerals, rare earth elements, and even potential energy reserves. Both nations have built powerful icebreaker ships, giant vessels that can smash through thick sea ice and reach remote outposts. These ships are essential for keeping supply lines open and asserting their presence in the harshest conditions. These ships supply the bases with everything they need, from heavy equipment to vehicles, and could one day support large-scale mining or even military operations if the geopolitical climate changes. Russia and China are also testing drones, satellites, and sophisticated sensors to monitor the land and sea. These technologies give them a strategic edge, allowing them to track changes in the environment and in the activities of other nations. The message is clear. They want to be ready for whatever comes next. Their determination is written on the faces of their team leaders, and their flags planted firmly in the snow send a powerful signal to the world. Science is only part of the story. Beneath the surface, there is a high-stakes race for power, resources, and strategic advantage in one of the last true frontiers on Earth. The competition is just beginning, and the outcome could shape the future of Antarctica for generations. The United States is worried. For decades it led Antarctic science, running the largest base, McMurdo Station. Now, U.S. officials are watching Russia and China with growing concern. They suspect that some science projects are really about resource mapping or military testing. In 2025, U.S. inspectors visited several foreign bases. They checked for banned weapons or military gear. But trust is breaking down. Russia and China accused the U.S. of spying. The U.S. says it just wants to keep Antarctica peaceful. Satellite images show new, mysterious buildings at Russian and Chinese bases. Some believe they are for oil exploration or advanced communications. The U.S. is increasing its own presence, adding drones and new research labs. Tension is rising. Each side watches the others, waiting for someone to break the rules. The spirit of cooperation is fading. Competition is becoming the new normal. Control of Antarctica is impossible without the right tools. The continent's harsh, frozen environment is one of the most challenging on Earth, and only those with the right infrastructure can even hope to operate here. Icebreaker ships are, absolutely essential. Without them, even the most basic access to Antarctica's remote coastlines would be impossible for much of the year. They carve routes through frozen seas, delivering supplies, people, and equipment to those really remote bases. These ships are lifelines, keeping research stations stocked and scientists safe. Nations with more icebreakers can reach more territory, stay longer, and, well, respond faster. In emergencies, or when weather suddenly turns, having a fleet ready can mean the difference between success and disaster. Russia leads the world with over 40 icebreakers, including those nuclear-powered giants. These ships can break through thicker ice and travel farther, giving Russia a huge advantage. China has built 4 and is adding more. Their investment signals a long-term commitment to expanding their reach and influence in the region. The United States, though, has only 2 heavy icebreakers, but there are plans to build more by 2028. For now, this limits how much ground the U.S. can cover, especially during the harshest months. Some European countries have a handful each. While not as dominant, their presence is still significant, especially when they work together on joint missions. The gap here is honestly pretty clear. Permanent bases matter too. These outposts are more than just shelters. They're statements of intent and capability. Russia, China, and the U.S. all have year-round stations at key points. These bases are strategically placed to maximize access to resources and research opportunities. These aren't just simple huts. They're mini-cities with labs, dorms, and power plants. They support dozens, sometimes hundreds of people through the long, dark winters. Bases help nations claim they are using the land, which is a key rule in international law. The more active and visible a country is, the stronger its claim. The more icebreakers and bases a country has, the more it can control. It's a race to build, supply, and maintain these assets in the most unforgiving place on Earth. This is about more than science. It's about presence, power, and future rights to the land and sea. In Antarctica, infrastructure is influence, and the race is only heating up. Much of the gear used in Antarctica is what's called dual use. This means it can help science or, support military and resource goals. For example, ground-penetrating radar can find buried lakes or oil. Drones can count penguins or spot enemy movements. Satellites track the weather and map resources. Russia, China, and the United States are investing in new technology. They say it's for research, but it also helps them prepare for future mining or defense. Some bases have advanced labs that could quickly switch from science to supporting drilling or military activity. There are even communications hubs that could guide ships, planes, or even missiles. The difference between research and strategy is often just a label. Inspections can only see so much. The world is entering a new era, where every experiment could hide a plan. Technology really blurs the line between peaceful science and preparation for conflict. Antarctica's riches aren't only underground. The Southern Ocean is home to billions of krill, those tiny shrimp-like creatures. Krill are the base of the entire Antarctic food web. Whales, seals, penguins, and fish all depend on them, but krill are under threat. Russia and China have ramped up krill fishing. They use huge factory ships to scoop up thousands of tons each year. The rules for protecting krill are breaking down. The international body that manages Antarctic fishing, CCAMLR, is struggling to enforce limits. If krill numbers drop, the whole ecosystem could crash. Scientists warn that overfishing could cause disaster. But with more ships and higher prices, some countries ignore the warnings. Krill may be small, but their fate really shows just how shaky Antarctic rules have become. When nations compete, even the tiniest resource becomes a battleground. The mining ban in Antarctica is not forever. In 2048, the treaty's protocol on environmental protection can actually be reviewed. Any country really can call for changes. Many experts believe Russia and China are already getting ready for that moment. Both nations are mapping resources, building infrastructure, and training teams. They want to show the world they are using the land. This may help them claim rights to future oil, gas, or minerals. The United States is also preparing. It is expanding scientific programs, updating bases, and planning new icebreakers. European nations are worried too. They want to keep the mining ban, but, the future is uncertain. What happens in 2048 will shape the next century. Countries are playing a long game. They want to be ready just in case the rules change. Daily life in Antarctica is hard. Workers face freezing winds, darkness, and loneliness. Yet thousands of people, scientists, cooks, mechanics, choose to live here each year. They fix machines, collect data, and keep the bases running. Why do they come? Some love science and adventure. Others are patriots, helping their country secure a foothold. Every ice core drilled, every fish counted, helps back home. Their work shows the world their nation cares about Antarctica. These workers are also symbols. Their presence is proof of national claims. A staffed base means a country is using the land, which could matter if the treaty changes. Flags fly high above each research station. Life on the ice is tough, but it is also important. The future of Antarctica may depend on what happens inside its lonely, windswept stations. Antarctica's workers are more than just scientists. They are the eyes and hands of their countries. Their daily routines, collecting samples, maintaining equipment, and surviving winter, are political acts. Each action builds a case for future control. When workers map the ice or study the ocean, they gather data no one else has. This information could help their country argue for more land or resources. Even small jobs, like clearing snow or repairing a generator, help keep a base running all year. Countries reward Antarctic workers with medals and honors. They know how important these people are for national pride and international law. In many ways, the workers are soldiers in a quiet, cold war. Their stories are rarely told, but their efforts shape the future. Without them, a flag is just a piece of cloth in the wind. The peace in Antarctica is fragile. The treaty has kept the continent safe for over 60 years. But as oil, minerals, and krill become more valuable, old rules are under threat. Russia and China are pushing ahead. The United States is responding. Other nations watch nervously. No one knows what will happen in 2048. The mining ban could end. New conflicts could begin. The race for Antarctica is speeding up. Science and cooperation are being replaced by suspicion and rivalry. The world's last untouched wilderness may not stay peaceful forever. The competition is growing, and the stakes could not be higher. Antarctica's future is up for grabs. The next chapter in this icy drama has just begun.